Ready? Hi guys, this is the second version or the second part of the earlier version. So we got the warm-up in, now we're going to get ready for the boxing. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is this. So we're going to have 5 boxing drills, okay? And they're all going to be incorporating footwork, basic boxing footwork. That's really the reason why the footwork and the hands are good for people with Parkinson's, because they make you move in the right direction. It helps with the acceleration, it helps with starting the movement, and basically it synchronizes all your movements, the upper body, the throwing the arms and the legs at the same time. So we're going to start it very basic, and you can start it and stop it as you wish to make sure that you get this. The first 2 are going to be pretty basic, something that we've already done. The last 3 parts of this are going to be a little bit more difficult, but not impossible. And then once I go through the instruction, then I will do the same 30-second version that we did on the warm-up, and then we'll go through 30 seconds of this. Okay, and I'll stop after the 32nd, after the first one, I'll stop, and then I'll reassess on the second one and tell you what we're going to do, just as a form of review. Okay? So, the first part is going to be basically the step in with the jab. Okay? So, the step in with the jab is going to be going forward, and so the footwork is here. I've got my right foot back, my left foot forward. My right hand is cocked under my chin. My left arm is in front of my right fist, and I'm going to jab. As I jab, I've got about anywhere between 10 inches and 12 inches on the spacing. As I go forward, then I'm going to extend my arm, and remember what we did this last time is that I want you to step forward and then step back. So we're going to throw the jab. So it looks something like this. Forward, back, forward, back. Now as I'm throwing that jab, as I extend my arm fully, then I'm stepping into the ground so I can actually lay or step into that punch. Okay? The other thing is that remember about the corkscrew with that wrist. So in other words, as you're holding yourself into the boxer stance, as you're stepping forward, I want you to corkscrew that wrist. That's what I call it. It's a term that I want you to be able to drive it into that bag, and that's what gives you the power. Okay? So it kind of looks like this. Jab, pull it back in. So this is going to be A, where starting position is going to be A. When I hit and I have my arm fully extended, that's going to be B. So I want you to start at A, go to B, and then from B, go back to A. Okay, so it's a fairly elastic exercise that you do. So starting in this boxer stance, you're going to do this, and then pull it back. This, and then pull it back. Jab forward, jab back. Jab forward, jab back. Jab forward, jab back. Jab forward, jab back. Okay? All right, so that's the first one. Now, the next one is going to be about, it's called the drop step cross. So now that's not having to do anything with the left, but it has to do with the right, okay? So the right leg is gonna go back. So here I am, back into the boxer stance, into this position. Now I'm gonna drop my right leg back. As I do so, watch my foot, because now my foot is not in this position, but rather it's gonna be on the toe, okay? So as I'm pulling back, I'm gonna do this in slow motion. As I'm pulling back, I'm going to go back about 6 inches. Now see my foot there? At the same time, I'm throwing the right cross, and there, I'm done. So you have to square up the hips and move them along with the shoulders, because now I'm extending my right arm into that bag or into the opponent, okay? So starting position here, I'm going to move, boom, and then back. Boom, and then back, drop, back, drop, drop, back, okay? So that foot has to be into this toe position so that I could drive forward. So my foot being right there and my heel coming up allows me to be able to throw my hips into that stance where I can drive it, the shoulders finishes it, and as I extend, then I have all the power right there at the end of my fist, okay? So that's the second part. Now, the third part is a little bit catchy. So I'm going to have you guys view me from behind because this is a side step that you do, okay? So we're going to go through that side step first, and then we're going to add the punches to it, okay? So basically the footwork looks like this. I'm in the boxer stance. The left leg is going to move out. The right leg is going to follow the left leg, but it's basically going to end in that same boxer stance. So it looks like this. 1, 2. Now I'm going to go back with the right first. 2, 1. 1, 2. 2, 1. 1, 2. Whoops, sorry. 2, 1. 1, 2. 2, 1. 1, 2. 2, 1. Okay, now, having done that, now I'm going to throw the punch at the same time. So as I'm moving sideways with my left foot, my arm is extending out. As I'm throwing the right, then I'm throwing the cross in that manner. Okay? So watch this. I'm going to kind of do it in kind of slow motion. So here I am. 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay? So once again, a little bit slower. So here we go. It's going to be 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay? So we're going to go to the left and then come back to the right. So once again, it's going to be 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay? So I'm going to start with the left, right, and when I come back, I'm going to throw that right and then throw that left. Okay? So it's going to be all together, to the left and to the right. Okay? That's the best way to do it. Okay, so once again, this is going to be normal speed. So as you finish the 1, 2 step, then you have to cock that right arm back in to be able to start that 2, 1 back in again. Okay? So it looks like this. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. Okay? So I want you to try that at home and see how that's going to work, because there's a little bit of a sideways issue. You're throwing your punches straight on forward, and you're moving, your feet and legs are moving sideways. So that part of it is a little catchy. It's a little bit difficult to maneuver, but it's definitely doable. Okay? So that's the third one. That's a drop step. Now, the next one is going to be the boxer's bounce, and this is my favorite one. So, so basically, it's an actual bounce, but I don't want you to bounce up. I want you to bounce forward. As I'm doing that boxer's bounce, I want you to be able to throw that left jab, keep that right hand cocked right under the chin, okay? And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna start that bounce, and it's not really a very heavy bounce, it's not a very high bounce, but it's a bounce to basically get the momentum going, to make you either push you forward or sideways or backward, whatever the case may be. So my feet are gonna come off the ground at the same time, and they're gonna land on the ground at the same time, okay? So enough about words. So here's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start doing that bounce, okay? Now I'm gonna throw that left jab. So here it goes. Jab, 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 jab. Keeping the hand cocked. Jab, 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 jab. So this stance for me was a little bit open, a little bit high. For you guys, it may be more like this. And that's okay. Whatever it takes to be able to throw that jab and then throw that cross. Okay? So the other thing is that if you think about how your stance is in this boxer's bounce, you should be able to throw a sheet of paper underneath your foot, and that's about as high as you need to go. Okay, you don't need to go very high. My bounce was probably a little bit too high. You guys don't have to bounce that high. As long as your feet are coming off the ground and then landing at the same time, you're good to go. Okay? All right, good. So that's the fourth one, the boxer's bounce. Now, we're gonna do this. We're gonna pivot 90 degrees, and then I'm gonna show you what that's about, and then we're gonna throw a hook. So it's a little bit more difficult, and it's difficult for me, it's difficult for everybody, but it's not impossible. Just being able to insert that in there is gonna be good. So we're gonna do that pivot first. So basically, like the clockwork that we did before, we're gonna do clockwise 4 times. And then so if I start here, then first position is gonna be here, the second is gonna be here, third position here, and I'm gonna end at the 4th position. And I'm just gonna keep rotating clockwise, you know, for that whole 30-second period. Okay, so I'm gonna do that 2 times through. Now, for this to happen, I'm gonna get into the boxer stance. I'm gonna moor my foot. Basically, the toe is gonna be the pivot. My left toe is forward, my right foot is back, and I'm gonna move my right leg back 4 times through. So it looks like this. So I'm gonna pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back where I started from. Okay? Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Pivoting off the left foot. Now, here comes the chore. Here comes the being able to do 2 things at once, maybe 3. Okay? Now, as I'm pivoting, I have to throw a left hook. Okay? So that's the part that you have to remember, because the left hook has to basically appear out of nowhere. I'm not cocking my arm here. My arm is in this stance. So lickety split, you have to do very quickly. As I'm turning clockwise, you have to lift your arm, throw that left hook, and then as you finish, I'm already done 1/4 of the way over. Okay? So it looks like this. I'm gonna start in the boxer stance. I'm gonna pivot 4 times and throw that hook. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for. I want you to be able to throw that hook at the same time. So if you saw what I was doing, you saw that as I was pivoting, I'm going to do this in slow motion. As I'm pivoting, the idea here is to cock your arm at the same time that this right leg is moving. So it's kind of hard to do because this leg is moving this way and this arm has to cock back against the leg. So that's why it's a little counterintuitive, but at the same time it's not impossible. Okay? So once we get done with this, then I'm gonna don 1 glove, just the left, well I could do both, but you're just gonna throw a left hook into the bag. Okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna try it again. We're gonna go around once and then twice. The other thing is that when you're moving and hooking at the same time, you have to have a pause. So when you pause, that's when you kind of reposition that shoulder and think about throwing that hook a little bit harder. I mean, a little bit more movement, okay? So here I am in this position again. So I'm gonna throw that hook, the left hook. Ready? I'm gonna pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Okay? The more you practice this, the better it becomes. Okay? So that's what this is about. Okay. So now I've got the 4 different positions as I'm turning around. Okay? So this is the orthodox position. Okay? And then there's also the unorthodox position, which is the lefty. Okay? But we're just going to do this. So now we're going to do the 30 seconds. Okay? 30 seconds. So I've shown you what each of these are. So we're going to do the 30-second bit, much like we did the warm-up. 30 seconds on the first one, which is throwing that left hook. The second one is throwing that right cross. The third one is doing the step. Remember the steps? Steps to the side, step back, throwing the left, throwing the cross at the same time. Step to the side, step back. The fourth one is doing that boxer's bounce. Okay, remember that boxer's bounce? And then the fifth one is going to be where we do the rotating clockwise and throwing the hook at the same time. Okay, so we're going to get the clock going, and we're going to do the 30 seconds. Okay. All right, here we go. Ready? Go. Okay, so here we are, throwing the left hook. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Okay, I screwed up, so I'm just going to wait until it gets to 30 seconds, and I'm going to do the next one. The next one's going to be the cross, okay? So don't forget about the cross. Okay, here we go. We're doing the cross now. So just the right leg, right? We're going to pull it back. So we're going to pull it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. Try it again. Another 30-second period. Okay, we're going side to side. Here we go. Side to side. So 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. Good. We're going to do the boxer's bounce next. Boxer's bounce. Okay? So we're going to bounce, throw that left hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Okay. So that's what we did with the 5 steps. Throwing the left jab, throwing the right cross, doing the steps, left, right, across at the same time that you're throwing it. Okay, now we're going to put your gloves on. Good time to get some water, get those gloves on. We're going to demonstrate it on this bag. Okay, so good time to get water, and if you see any idiosyncrasies as something that you need to fix, work on it, go ahead and stop the video, and then you can return to where you were before. Okay, so I'm going to get my water. Okay, so remember about the footwork. The footwork is important. You want to be able to bounce when you're doing that boxer's bounce and then throw that hook. And it gets better every time, okay? All right, so the other thing is when you're throwing that cross, remember, as always, you want to be able to throw it with some form of authority, a little bit of pizzazz. The jab is one we started with, and so we're gonna be able to do that. Now I realize that I can't push at that start button with my gloves on, but we'll do it the best we can. Okay, so we're gonna push into it, and once again, this is gonna be, I think I'm gonna do about 20 jabs with my left. Okay, so I want you to step into it. We're gonna start in this position. Step into it as you're throwing that jab. Step into it and then throw that jab. Okay, so we're going to do 20 of these. All right, ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. Okay, that's all about throwing that left jab. Now we're going to throw that right cross. So remember, this is that right cross. So your footwork is here. I'm going to step back on my toe at the same time that I deliver. Now this one has to be harder. The cross is going to be harder than the jab. So we're going to watch this bag move a little bit, so to speak. Okay, so you guys that don't have a bag at home, just be able to realize that we're hitting it with a little bit more pizzazz with the right. The right cross is heavier than the left. Okay, so boxer stance is here, move back, and then on the toe, being able to deliver. So once again, we're going to throw 20 of these. Okay, because I can't stop it with my gloves. Okay, so we're going to start here. Ready and cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, observation that I made was that as I was pushing the bag backward and me pushing forward, I have to slightly readjust my footwork. And that will happen as you are moving the bag forward. Your feet have to kind of shuffle in and get closer to the bag because you want the same distance between your punch and the bag. As you hit it, it will move away from you. So your mind and your body and your fist have to readjust. So that's the period of readjustment that you're going to be due. Okay? All right. So now, this next one here is going to be about going side to side. Okay? So we're going to be able to move with the left. It'll be 1, 2, 2, 1. That's a step that we're going to do. Okay? So we're going to start in this boxer stance. This is going to be 1. This is going to be 2. I'm going to be throwing the punches at the same time. So it's going to be 1, 2, and then 2, 1. Okay? So I have to position myself. I may miss the bag or I may hit it because I'm moving side to side a little bit. It would be better if I had a bag that went all the way across, but we don't have that luxury. Okay, so we're going to start in this boxer stance. Okay? We're going to throw that jab. So 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. Messed up on that. Here we go. Do it again. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. 1, 2, 2, 1. Good. Okay, so that shows that we're able to move side to side. I made a couple of mistakes over there. I threw the right instead of the left, but that's okay. The more you do it, the better you become. That's why we're doing this in 30-second intervals, okay? All right, now we're gonna do the boxer's bounce, okay? So we're gonna throw the left jab, only the left jab. My right hand is gonna be cocked underneath, okay? So I'm gonna throw basically 30 left jabs, okay? 30 left jabs into this. I'm gonna move this back a little bit so I can get into the picture. Okay, so 30 left jabs as I start my bounce. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. Okay. So we're able to get that boxer's bounce in there, and that's really important to get that footwork. Putting it all together, that's what we're doing this. Going forward, you'll realize that as you're hitting the bag, that your feet are moving at the same time. And just for a brief second, you're up out of, in the air basically. And then you're coming back down, okay? All right, so now for this next one, we're gonna be throwing hooks. Okay, so we're gonna throw that left hook all the way around. So hopefully we'll go around, let's go around 4 times. So basically 4 positions, okay? You'll notice that the first time I go around, it won't look as pretty. The second one looks better, the third one looks better. By the time I get to the 4th one, I'll probably be a little bit tired, but nevertheless, we'll make it, okay? So on this one here, if you remember, we're gonna be throwing that hook, okay? Throwing that hook and pivoting it at the same time, okay? So 2 things done at the same time, okay? So 90 degrees are crucial to be able to do that. So as I'm pivoting, moving my right leg back, but keeping my left leg forward, that becomes the key, okay? So as I'm doing this, I want to be able to rear back and get a good piece of the bag when I throw my left hook, okay? So the idea here is a little bit about footwork, but mostly it's about the arms and see if they'll connect with the bag, okay? All right, so here's what it is. So my pivot foot stays in one position, the left foot stays in one position, the right foot is the one that keeps moving back 90 degrees, okay? All right, so let's see how this is gonna go. 4 times around. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that wasn't even a hook. It was a jab. So I wasn't focusing on what I was doing. So I want to be able to throw a hook and pivot with my right leg, okay? So once again, actually what we're gonna do is the first 2 times they go around, I'm just gonna move my right leg back just to get the positioning. The last 2 rotations, I'll put in that hook, okay? So we're just gonna rotate. So ready, and rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So my right leg is back, it's pivoting. Once again, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've done 2 of those. Now we're gonna throw that left hook. Okay, left hook 2 times around. Okay, here we go. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. All right, one more time around and we'll get it. Okay, here we go. So we're going to throw that hook at the same time that we're stepping back. So actually, the stepping back part of it as you pivot is going to be first, and then the hook rears up as you're moving with the right leg back. Okay? All right, so here we go. Ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Once more. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay, so with this bag here, it's a little bit more difficult because when I was showing you here, I was pivoting off of that middle piece and my foot couldn't go inside there because the size of the bag. So this is a little bit easier, but basically what we're looking at is the footwork and the hands doing two things at once, okay? Often things we have to do that with, Parkinson's. We have things that we carry and we have to carry them with your right hand or left hand, and then we have to push a door open and then turn your head as somebody calls your name. A lot of these things we do as we're walking, okay? So that's key in what we have to do. Okay, so that's the lesson for today, okay? So here we go. So we're gonna call it quits. We're gonna say rock steady boxing rocks.